ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. The following program is brought to you by Arlington Community Media, where we tell your story.
A private documentary screening takes place in Mystic Open Studios. Arlington students come together for musical performances, and the Arlington boys varsity hockey team takes a spot in the top 4.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
Hello everyone, I'm James Milan and welcome to today's edition of ACMi News.
And I'm Francisca Beduya. We're delighted to see you again. ACMi recently partnered with Mystic Open Studio to host a private screening of the documentary film KEMA. Those in attendance had a chance to not just see the documentary, but to offer their feedback as the filmmakers consider expanding the film's length and scope.
We're here at the Mystic Open Studio for a first look at the documentary film KEMA.
The documentary follows KEMA, a woman whose suffering leads her to become a death doula in Costa Rica. While processing her own grief, Sarah Morrissey, the documentary's producer, recalled her mother housing KEMA and her family in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. In the years that followed, she watched as KEMA battled with cancer, grieved a major loss, and made the difficult decision to leave the country. The documentary evolved into KEMA's journey with devastating loss and the healing properties of nature.
I'm gonna think about what the main themes were. What would you say they are to you?
After the screening, Sarah and the film's cinematographer David gave viewers time to discuss what they had just seen, encouraging people to consider the themes of the documentary, their favorite parts, what they wanted more of, its successes, as well as its shortcomings.
This would be distracting. This isn't Nova or something. This is, it's.
Her sister, and she was waiting for context.
I went to acupuncture.
Sarah and David emphasized the purpose behind the limited screening. The film was not only subject to change, with the input from the community, it was compelled to.
I know what a death doula is. A lot of people don't even know what that is.
I like that it jumps to them deciding on Costa Rica, but then hearing about why Costa Rica would be helpful.
I actually think if you are thinking of making it longer, I kind of want to see more of her process of working with people.
This is all temporary music, and it's to inform the composer down the road, or the licensing.
The pair aimed to extend the film, diving into the process of becoming a death doula, exploring the intersectionality of blackness in the cultures of the U.S. and Costa Rica, getting more footage of KEMA with her family and friends in personal settings, and utilizing feedback from screenings like this.
Like that question of why in a way that shouldn't matter but could.
I would have liked to have seen more of her talking to the camera.
Because there's so many moments that are staged. Like seeing something that, you put her in front of her family, but they're genuinely happy.
Despite the serious nature of the documentary, there were many lighthearted moments that brought smiles and laughter during and after the screening. Sarah shared that having lived in Arlington made it all the more special to host an event like this at Mystic Open Studios.
We can't wait to see what Sarah and David end up adding to the piece, and we'll be sure to keep you updated about potential future screenings. Now, who doesn't like a sweet treat? Cookie time has been a staple of the Arlington community for years and years, and as they are our neighbors here in the Heights, we've had our fair share, or maybe a little more, of their cookies. This week, we train our business spotlight on cookie time, its history, and its products.
My name is Barbara Weniger. I'm the owner of Cookie Time Bakery in Arlington, Massachusetts. So when I started this bakery, of course I love cookies myself, which is why I was happy to get into the business, but I wanted to make sure I made the best tasting cookies possible. And the #1 ingredient that we use here is butter. lots and lots of butter. Most of our cookies have always had more butter than sugar, which is why they taste more rich than sweet. People will say, oh, these cookies, they don't taste like supermarket cookies. And that's because there's more butter than sugar. And also you can't skimp on any of the ingredients. If it's nuts in a cookie, or if it's the M&Ms on top of the M&M cookie, you have to make that cookie be the best cookie it can be. So it's a very rich flavor and it's a very satisfying flavor. So you eat one of these and it's just a very good experience of a cookie. I find it to be a great cookie experience because I've been eating them for 35 years.
Barbara and her team are very meticulous about their baking process, ensuring that ingredients are fresh and doughs are baked as soon as they're ready. Cookies are handcrafted on site every day, which is why if you smell cookies down the street, you know it's cookie time.
What we do is make cookie doughs and we scoop them, and some of them are baked as soon as they're scooped. Some of them are scooped, put in the fridge. We just take them out of the fridge and bake them. So you make such a giant batch of dough. You scoop them all, put some in the fridge to bake as you need them, but they're always baked fresh every day. And another thing that people love about this bakery is that fresh smell of a fresh baked cookie when you come in. Because a lot of places anymore, they have a commissary bakery, they're not baked on site. We bake everything right here in Arlington, right here on this site we always have, and people come in and comment all the time, oh, it smells so good in here.
Cookie Time was not always called Cookie Time, but actually Lakota Bakery. However, the bakery has been in Arlington for over 30 years and the name no longer represents the long-term staff and who they are. For customers, it was never the name that stuck, but the cookies that have been feeding the neighborhood for decades.
Everyone in the community knows us for our cookies. Everyone, even when they see these cookies at a party, they'll be, oh, those are Cookie Time cookies. So we've got that kind of reputation in the community. So that just makes it so special to know that so many people all through the years have been bringing these cookies to events, and just how much it means to everybody in this town, and it means a lot to me too.
Cookie Time's cookies have been bought as gifts around the world, from China to Egypt, from Germany to Japan. But they're not just a bakery and a business, they're also a giving member of the Arlington community.
Well, you know, we've just, all through the years, whenever any little PTA was having a sale or any little event in the community, we're like, anything you're doing, you come in here, we'll give you a couple dozen cookies to support the community. Because for us, that was just also a good way to spread the cookies around. But people would come back in and say, oh, that was the raffle prize everybody wanted, was the cookies. And so that's just spread all that good feeling through the community because, you know, everyone loves cookies. Me too. Actually, every cookie here is somebody's favorite, but my favorite is the Florentine.
All I can say is, yum. Next time you visit, try my personal favorite, the Raspberry Linzer, and let me know what you think.
March 4th marked the Hindu festival of colors known as Holi. To celebrate, the Indian Americans of Arlington and the town's DEI department invited the public to the Arlington Community Center on March 7th to learn about the holiday's history, eat traditional Indian foods, watch cultural performances, and play with the iconic biodegradable FDA-approved colored powders.
Celebrate by throwing colors and like the festive colors of nature and the harvest season. So in India, people really get into it. They kind of like smother each other, and it's really a big fun game.
That looked like a lot of fun. I hope the paint came out in the wash.
The annual All-Town Orchestra and All-Town Band concerts returned to Arlington over the past 2 weeks. Parents and teachers got to enjoy the fruits of the weeks, months, and even years of practice put in by the student musicians.
On February 28th, the Arlington High School auditorium was filled to the brim with student musicians from across Arlington's public school system for the annual All-Town Orchestra concert. The initiative saw hundreds of attendees watching in person as well as online through ACMi's live stream. Students from grades 4 to 12 took up their instruments to delight friends and family in 4 separate concerts over the course of a single day. The music ranged from Mary Had a Little Lamb to Georges Bizet's Farandole. Only a week later, on March 7th, was the All-Town Band concert.
Raise your hand if this is your very first All-Town Band concert. Wonderful, welcome. And I look forward to seeing you many more years. Second year, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about 10? Yes, if you have a senior in a AHS symphonic band, this is of your 10th year.
Similar to the stringed orchestral performances in February, the All-Town Band concert moved the 4th through 12th grade musicians and their eager families into the AHS gymnasium, this time highlighting woodwind and brass instruments.
Now we are going to start with our first year beginner band, All-Town grade 4 band, led by Mr. Ryan Hum.
Students showed off their months of hard work and practice with a variety of songs culminating in a familiar AHS medley. The All-Town performances act as a unifying force and dedicated display of the music departments in Arlington.
The full All-Town Band and Orchestra concerts, as well as the All-Town Choral concert from earlier this year, can be found on ACMi's YouTube channel, youtube.com/ACMiTV. Again, that's youtube.com/ACMiTV.
February 28th was the last day to check out the Arlington Center for the Arts' latest exhibit, The Wonders of Spy Pond. The exhibit focused on the flexibility of the town's signature body of water, which serves many as a site for ice skating, bird watching, kayaking, and historically served as the center of the town's booming ice trade. And, let us not forget, it's also where the mysterious discovery of a mastodon tusk took place. Local artists put their creative spin on a beloved Arlington landmark. Step inside the wonders of Spy Pond, this year's annual Artlinks exhibit in the hallway gallery at the Arlington Center for the Arts.
I think it's good for artists to put their own stamp on how they view things. And it's interesting to me in this show in particular to see the ways that they've decided to highlight pond life.
Members of ArtLinks, a network of local artists, showcase the pond through a variety of mediums, including metalwork, glass, painting, and collage.
Sue Cross did these two images. She was kayaking on the pond with her husband, and she happened to have her regular camera. Jackie Pullman is an acrylic painter, and she calls this I Spy. And it's just a nice little image of walking right down towards Spy Pond Park.
This year marks the 6th annual collaborative showcase, an exhibit ACA Executive Director Tom Formicola says he looks forward to each year.
Yeah, we always love when like the themes are particularly local.
Spy Pond Committee co-chair Brad Barber shared insights about the pond and its history.
Spy Pond is actually fairly unique among kettle ponds in that it's actually it has three kettle holes. This is that shallow area. It's about 6 feet deep, full of sediment right down here. The sediment is up to 21 feet deep. And then this right here is what we call the South Basin. This is the North Basin. This is what we call the South Basin. And right here, you'll see and this is, we didn't know about this basin until this survey. Right here, it's it's quite deep. It's actually deeper than here, but it is the remains of a larger basin that was filled in when they expanded Route 2 at the end of the 60s.
There's so much history in Spy Pond. Not only is it a very beautiful place to go, there's recreation around there, there's wildlife that people come and enjoy all the time, and it's a good learning experience for them to know the history of their town.
It's quite something to see the variety of creative responses to Spy Pond that were on display. The Arlington Center for the Arts' next show is titled Back to the Drawing Board and opens on April 2nd.
She's a local salon owner, a hairstylist for over 20 years, and now an award-winning author. Liz King, Woburn resident and owner of Arlington's J&L Hair Studio, sat down with ACMi's Josh Gishri to talk about her new book, Beyond the Mirror.
Could you break down kind of what the book is? How would you define the book?
It encompasses a lot. It can speak to clients and it can speak to stylists. So for clients, you get to see what it's like, what it takes to be behind the chair. And then I also go into home hair care tips and a curly chapter and just the science of what makes up what we do. We're very skilled, and I feel like that gets overlooked a lot. And if you're a stylist reading it, you'll feel seen. Because I share the ups and downs of what it's like to be behind the chair and to really stay with it, because some days you don't want to. And same thing with being a salon owner, it's really hard. So I feel like I'm a big sister maybe to some people. But we touch basically everybody. Think about it, from birth, kids' first haircut, weddings, even, for some stylists go and will style their clients for their funeral if they're asked. So we do a lot where I feel we're very important for the community, and I just wanted to put it on paper and just teach people really what it does take, and just hopes that they see us a little bit differently. You don't do this job if you don't care about people. You just can't. I think that just naturally is. I enjoy making someone feel good, or I enjoy holding space for someone if they need me to be quiet, or if they need me to cheer them on, or sometimes let them cry if they need to. It's just, we love people and we get to make their hair beautiful into what they want, and it's just a really special thing.
You can purchase Beyond the Mirror at J&L Hair Studio on Mass Ave, or online on Amazon or BooksBuy at books.by/Liz-King-Books. I'm going to repeat that. That's books.by/Liz-King-Books.
You know it's been a good season when the Arlington boys hockey team reaches the semifinals of the MIAA Division I state tournament, as they did once again this year. Coming into the season as the 4th seed in the league meant that expectations were high for the Spy Ponders. The semifinal game pitted them against the number 8 seed, St. John's from Shrewsbury. The first period saw no scores, with each team vying for a goal. St. John's scored twice in the second period, momentarily devastating the Arlington fans who made the trek. But the Ponders made the most of the remaining time, rallying to tie the game in the 3rd period. It took 2 overtime periods to determine a winner. A game that started slowly was a barn burner at the end, when St. John's managed to score a last-minute goal to secure victory and bring the Ponders' strong season to an abrupt end. Arlington may not have emerged with the title this year, but they were a force to be reckoned with game after game. It was a great run, boys. Keep it up next season.
Go Ponders. And that'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Have a story you want us to cover or know about an upcoming community event? Share your ideas by writing us at the address on the upcoming screen. And for ACMi News, I'm James Milan.
And I'm Francisca Beduya. As we sign off this week, please enjoy this highlight from the Mononymy concert series that continued March 6th at Town Hall. We'll see you next time.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMI productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMI to learn how you can help.